Greetings, everyone. Right, I saw this online and thought we'd have a wee look at it. So, an article I'm bloody disgusting. The horror of Dolores Roach cancelled at Amazon after one season. Now, I was going to review this, but to be honest, I couldn't get past the first episode. This was dire. I just couldn't. Sometimes they'll stick horror in the title. It's not. It's just. I don't know. It's that sort of American ghetto rap stuff that I just absolutely despise. That trashy people, whatever you want to call it. I don't try with it whatsoever. But apparently it becomes like a horror. But honestly, the first episode just turned me right off. Didn't have any interest in carrying forward. I think God, okay, I even forgot about this, to be honest. It's one of those ones delete from memory type things. But just interested in it popping up, especially when I was gonna watch it and review it. This is why I don't do much TV and series, because at least with movies, there's a bit of a discipline. You have to tell a story in one. TV series is seems like a bit of a free for all, and I don't know. I just don't, because usually they write themselves in the corner very quickly, and they're always egging on trying to get more seasons, but they don't have a coherent storyline throughout. If the plan for 5 seasons, even if they never made it, it would make sense. But these people don't. It's all off the hip. But I don't like TV. Never have. Apart from a handful of things, and this show just exemplified. Like I said, didn't even get through the first episode. And there's quite a few things I've started and just went, nah, not even worth talking about. But just interested in popping up. So, based on the hit podcast, I wasn't aware of that. Remember, Netflix tried to do a turn a podcast into a TV series with Archive 81. That failed as well. So there might be something to say about what works on a podcast mightn't necessarily translate over to a TV show or a movie. Podcasts is quite a unique medium of storytelling, and it's a unique platform and audience. You know that if you're into streaming, if you're into podcasts, you're into them. If you're not, you're not. You know, it's one of those things. Like, I don't even think people who enjoy audiobooks are necessarily into podcasts, and I don't think there's always crossover with audiences, but I think podcasts have their own audience, and I don't think it necessarily translates to TV. That's just my opinion. If you have examples of where this has worked, please let me know. I'd be interested. After just one season, The Horror of Dolores Roach is no more a Prime Video. Guessing they're leaving the first season up there. They're not going to delete it, but a bit dramatic, that language, but yeah, whatever. Okay, Justina Mikado starred in the first season of Dolores Roach. Also, the 8-episode half-hour series is a contemporary Sweeney Todd-inspired tale, a macabre urgent legend of love, betrayal, weed, gentrification, cannibalism, and survival of the fittest. In the series, Dolores Roach is released from prison after 16 years and returns to severely gentrified Washington Heights with $200 and the clothes on her back. Her boyfriend missing, her family long gone, Dolores reunites with the old stoner buddy Luis, who gives her room and board and lets her give massages for cash in the basement under his dilapidated storefront. God, what a com, isn't it? Empanada Loca, the only remnant of her former life. Right, hang on, let's try this again. Fucking hell, that's a sentence of doom. God, you're like, holy shit. Yeah, punctuation, like, fucking calm down. Dolores reunites with an old stoner buddy, Luis, who gives her room and board and lets her give massages for cash in the basement under his dilapidated storefront. Empanada Loca, the only remnant of her former life. Full stop. I'm brave. Okay, right. Yeah, I watched that all play out, and it was weird. Right, so she basically took a rap for her boyfriend. I think it was drugs related. I don't like stoner movies anyway. I don't like drugs. I'm not into drug culture. I just that whole stoner thing doesn't really hit with me. Might have been one of the things that put me off. But yeah, she'd taken a hit for him. So this is after 16 years. Obviously, nobody's bothered to reach out. So her family and all is gone. That they haven't got in touch with her while she was there. Blah blah blah. And she's kind of coming out with this expectation of everything's going to be exactly the same, and yeah, everyone's just going to welcome her back. Well, the proof's in the pudding. Nobody's visited her, so the writing should have been in the wall that she wasn't coming back to like a magical homecoming, or the fact nobody met her and she wasn't writing to anybody or ringing anybody. You know, that would kind of, God, that's kind of sad, to be honest. But like I said, this just didn't play it well. I didn't twig with the character of Dolores. Just didn't feel her. Liz, I didn't feel. She goes into somebody's house, like, I'm trying to remember now. God, she just went in this flat and just managed to barge her way in and rip open a tile or something in the bathroom. It was just stupid. The whole thing was just stupid. And like I said, I got Did I get to that point where I didn't get to the massage part. I got to the part where she met him and he's just like, yeah, stay here, like, whatever. And I'd already checked out. Like, do you know when you're watching something and you're just like going through the motion? And I'll do that with some movies. You'll probably tell when I'm streaming, but there's some movies that are like, okay, I've agreed to review it. I've scheduled the stream. I'm going through this. And you're not enjoying the experience. You're just kind of going through the motions. That's what I was thinking here. The first episode, I could understand if it was 3-4 episodes in and getting fed up, but the first episode I didn't care, honestly. I didn't finish it. I mean, not even I didn't even finish the first episode, never mind the series. It did not land with me whatsoever. And I was a bit insulted that they're trying to, I don't know, sell it as a horror series. But anyway, c'est la vie and all that good stuff. The Horror of Dolores Roach also stars Alejandro Hernandez, Keita Updike, and Kay Todd Freeman, plus Cyndi Lauper, Mark Maron from Glow, whatever that is, Jane Yoon, Kim's Convenience, whatever that is, Judy Reyes, is that Reyes or Rise? Smell, is that the movie Smell? I would need to look that up. Birth/Rebirth, yeah, whatever. And Jeffrey Self, Search Party, whatever that is. I don't do TV. So these are all TV shows. Just be like, yeah, it's like it'd be like somebody trying to talk to me about sports or celebrity stuff. I just go, don't have a clue, no interest. I'm a nerd. I've got particular things I'm into, and I can bore you to tears with all that stuff. But not that. No, this stuff. Right. Anyway, let's crack on. Originally created by Aaron Mark as a one-woman play, Epinata Loca, comma, Mark created, comma, wrote, comma, and directed the original podcast and penned the series pilot. The series comes from Mark. No, I'm not. Sorry, I'm going to take a mic. I'll just behave myself. The series comes from Mark. He also serves as co-showrunner and executive producer with Dara Resnick. I love the way he's. I don't do actors and celebrities. I just love the way all these names are highlighted as if I'm supposed to care. It's just hilarious. I'm just like, all right. And it shows that they haven't got much to say about the story, and they're just name dropping. And you're like, yeah, you're reaching here to I think they're trying to say this is a bad thing, it's been cancelled. But you can tell from this article they're filling the article just with names because they've no idea what they can't talk about the series. Oh dear. Okay. I suppose we're gonna have a laugh at this and nothing else. Blah blah blah. Alongside executive producers, I think we may as well just put the whole cast list out here. And what do you see? We'll get the grips and the best boys and the camera operator and the person that gets coffee in the catering department next. Daphne Rubin Vega, Jason Blum, Chris McCumber, Jeremy Gold and Chris Dickey for Blumhouse TV, Dawn Ostroff, Mimi O'Dell and Justin McCuldrick for Spotify, Gloria Calderon Kellett for Glow Nation Studios, and Roxanne Dawson, who directed the pilot. What a bunch of fluff and name drop. Like, you may as well just put, here's the end credits. Apart from the beginning, and only because I watched 3/4 of the first episode to have any idea what this is about. And they've tried to link it to Sweeney Todd, which I'm thinking cannibalism, pie shops, as you know, if you know the story of Sweeney Todd. And yeah, whatever. If this was an idea of an article to try and say this is a bad thing, they've failed. Megan Navarro wrote in her review of Dolores Roach for Bloody Disgusting. Right. So he's having to get that dead. John Squires is having to get that desperate that he's even quoting another review, so he can't even friggin' review it himself. What a tool. What an absolute plank. Oh my god. I wasn't sorry. I just called this up randomly to do a video. I wasn't expecting to get comedy gold. What a absolute friggin' Egypt. Oh dear, you silly man. Anyway, he wrote a review of Dolores Roach for Bloody Disgusting. A breathable, likeable first season, does enough to hook you, but fizzles with surface level storytelling. He couldn't even write his own words. He's quoting other reviewers for the same magazine, because did he watch this? I don't think he's actually watched this. Writer in the horror community in 2008, editor-in-chief Bloody Disgusting, owns Eli Roth's Prop Corpse from Piranha 3D, has 4 of them cats, still plays with toys. I don't think he watched this. Sir, legit, I honestly don't think he watched any of this, and that's why he's like the article's where it is. He's name dropping like hell and quoting everything else except the actual plot, where it worked, where it didn't work, and why it might have been cancelled, and where it might have been saved. He hasn't watched this. That's brilliant. Oh my god. This is why I struggle with this segment as well, because a lot of these articles are just unintentional comedy instead of getting proper horror news, like what's coming out, who's in it, what projects are on the go, things we want to know about. One thing I'll say about horror news in general, it doesn't have the same nastiness as we see in other. Like, if a thing fails, it fails. It's not blaming the fans, so fair enough that nobody's being called names. So it got made. It didn't land. They were hoping, like, look at the, like, I'm not going to play the trailer, but this is geared towards horror fans. And what's happened is they've done it. Like I said, I was all on board. I was curious. It didn't work for me. It obviously hasn't worked for a lot of people, hence why it's being cancelled. But at least it's not going, you're a bad person, you're in this, you're a phobe because you didn't like this series. And that's what I'll always appreciate about the horror genre and even horror commentators. So let's end on a positive. Don't want to make fun of a guy, but it's obviously hasn't watched this series because his whole article is nothing actually about the plot or what worked or what didn't work. But there you go. There's that. Did you notice? Did anybody watch this? Did anybody like it? Is anybody disappointed that there's not going to be a season 2? I've genuinely forgotten about this, and I was just like, oh yeah, I remember trying to watch that to do a stream on, and like I said, I failed. I couldn't do it. But there you go. Let me know what you think, and as usual, keep updated with the channel, do the typey clicky things, and until next time, keep it creepy, keep it horrific.